at www.omarfigueroa.com.
Now it's time for our 420 radio news for Friday, March 8th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Final state marijuana forum held in Bremerton from the Seattle Times. About 200 people attended a marijuana forum Thursday night in Bremerton, Washington, the last of 8 state liquor control board hearings that have been held around the state as it prepares to draft licensing regulations. The Kitsap Sun reports speakers asked for rules that would allow a marijuana cottage industry rather than a few corporate producers and a black market. Others expressed concerns about high taxes, the marijuana blood limit for driving, and exposing drug use to the children. Washington lawmakers already looking to tap marijuana revenue from K2.com. Washington state lawmakers are already starting to count on revenue from the legalization of marijuana, with the House approving a bill that would tap those tax dollars to expand early learning. Before the House passed the bill on Wednesday by a 59-38 margin, Representative Ruth Cagey, a Democrat from Shoreline, said she couldn't think of a better use for the money. She argued that there was a clear nexus between helping children early in life and avoiding troubles later. If the legal marijuana system does get implemented, the state stands to bring in hefty new tax revenues. The product would be taxed heavily, with analysts estimating that a legal pot market could bring Washington hundreds of millions of dollars a year in new money. Cagey's proposal is expected to cost more than $200 million per year by the 2017 biennium. The bill now goes to the state Senate. A new bill would ensure medical marijuana users are not kicked off organ transplant lists, approved by the Senate Health Panel in New Jersey. This from politicernewjersey.com. A bill sponsored by Senators Joseph Vitale and Vitale-Scutari that would ensure a person's use of medical marijuana would not prohibit him or her from receiving needed medical care, such as an organ transplant, was approved today by the Senate Health, Human Services, and Senior Citizens Committee. The bill, S-1220, would provide that a registered qualifying patient's authorized use of medical marijuana would be considered the equivalent to using other prescribed medications rather than it being an illicit substance, and therefore would not disqualify the person from needed care, such as an organ transplant. Marijuana Joint Committee created in Colorado Legislature. From the businessjournals.com. Now that Amendment 64 Implementation Task Force has largely finished its work and is ready to hand 74 recommendations to the Colorado Legislature, a joint select committee was appointed Thursday to process the suggestions. The new 10-member committee, appointed by House Speaker Mark Ferrandino, Democrat of Denver, and Senate President John Morse, Democrat of Colorado Springs, has members from both chambers. Assistant Majority Leader Don Pabon, Democrat of Denver, was appointed today as the select committee's chairman. On the issue of how to tax the retail marijuana, Pabon told the Denver Business Journal, quote, "There needs to be some dynamic modeling and tax rate analysis to find that sweet spot. We're trying to encourage the growth of a new industry." Suspects identified in standoff at San Francisco pot grow. This from CBS San Francisco. A San Francisco police on Thursday identified 4 men who were arrested after allegedly trying to rob a marijuana growing operation in the city's Bayview district on Wednesday. The standoff began at 3:50 in the morning, where suspects wearing ski masks tried to rob the facility, which was apparently permitted by the city and contained about 1,000 marijuana plants. 3 suspects then fled on foot, but were arrested about 2 blocks away. The other suspect remained inside with employees there for several hours while police surrounded the building and closed off nearby streets. Around 8:30 in the morning, officers led 4 people, believed to be facility employees, out of the building, and the standoff continued until about 10 in the morning, when the suspect finally surrendered to tactical officers accompanied by a K-9 unit. All 4 suspects, all San Francisco residents, were booked into jail on suspicion of burglary, robbery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and conspiracy. Attorney General Holder is still stalling on the time for marijuana legalization. When pressed today by reporters, Attorney General Holder said the information will still be forthcoming, We will report it as soon as it's available. And that's your 420 Radio News for Friday, March 8th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at a case in Chicago where a woman has been given 7 years in prison for a fatal accident where marijuana was not the cause. But she got the years because she had marijuana in her system. We'll analyze that when we come back. You're listening to 420radio.org.